I came this close to dying in the woods, but it wasn't a bear, a mountain lion, or even a person that almost killed me. It was something far worse, something that followed me home. And every night since, I've wondered if I ever really left the forest at all. I've always been the adventurous type, hiking in the wilderness, camping in the most remote areas, anything that took me far away from the humdrum of daily life. So when I heard about this hidden trail deep in the Appalachian Mountains, I couldn't resist. They said it was beautiful, untouched by tourists, a perfect escape. I drove for hours, the roads winding tighter and tighter as I got farther from civilization. By the time I reached the trailhead, the sun was already beginning to set. But I wasn't worried. I was experienced. I had everything I needed: food, water, a map, and a strong sense of direction. What could go wrong? The forest was thick with towering trees, their shadows stretching long in the fading light. I started on the path, my boots crunching on the dirt beneath me. It felt peaceful at first, just the sounds of my footsteps and the distant calls of birds. I figured I'd hike for an hour or two, then set up camp. But as the light dimmed, I noticed something strange. The deeper I went, the quieter it got. No birds, no wind rustling the leaves, just silence. I felt it then, a strange pressure on the air, like the forest itself was holding its breath. I pushed forward, telling myself it was nothing, but then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw it, a flicker of movement in the trees. I stopped, my heart pounding in my chest, scanning the shadows. There was nothing, just trees. I shook my head and took another step, but the moment I did, I heard it, a crack, a branch breaking underfoot. I spun around, but there was nothing there. That's when the whispering started. At first it was too soft to make out, like a breeze pushing through the leaves, but then it grew louder, more distinct. I couldn't tell if it was human or animal, but it sounded almost wrong, not natural. "Go back," the whisper urged. I froze. I wasn't alone. A chill crept up my spine and I started backing up, my instincts screaming at me to leave. I turned to run, but my foot caught on something, a root, a rock, sending me sprawling onto the ground. When I hit the dirt, the whispering stopped. But the silence that followed was worse. I got up quickly, dusting myself off, my eyes darting around the darkness. The trail had started to feel wrong. The trees were closing in, their branches twisting in unnatural shapes. The air felt thick, as if it was pressing against me, suffocating me. I had to get out. I turned to run again, but I stopped. In the distance, far off the path, I saw something moving between the trees, something tall, impossibly tall. It moved in jerking, unnatural motions, like a puppet on strings, and it was coming closer. A wave of terror hit me like a punch to the gut. My body screamed at me to run, but I couldn't move. I was paralyzed. Then I heard it again. This time, the voice wasn't a whisper. It was loud, urgent. "Leave." The sound of footsteps followed. Someone, or something, was walking directly behind me. I snapped out of my stupor and bolted, adrenaline flooding my veins. My legs felt heavy, my breath ragged, but I couldn't stop. I could hear the footsteps behind me, following, getting closer with every step I took. The thing chasing me was too fast. It was closing in. I stumbled down the trail, branches scratching my face, but the terror was overwhelming. I kept looking over my shoulder, but every time I did, I saw nothing, just the dark, twisted trees and empty space. Then, ahead of me, I saw something, a flicker of movement. It was a figure standing in the middle of the path, blocking my way. I skidded to a halt. It was tall, too tall, its body twisted in unnatural angles. It didn't have a face, just a shadow where its features should have been. The whispering started again, now coming from its direction. "You shouldn't have come here." The voice was not human. It was hungry. Panic surged through me, and I turned to run again, but the figure moved too. It wasn't walking, it was gliding, floating toward me, with impossibly long strides. I had no choice. I had to fight. I grabbed a nearby branch, swinging it at the figure, but it passed right through it, like I wasn't even touching it. That's when I heard a sound from behind me, heavy, dragging footsteps. Something was coming from the other direction, cutting off my escape. I was trapped. In that moment, I knew I wasn't getting out alive. The thing in front of me was almost upon me. But then, just as it reached out for me with those long, dark limbs, a screech filled the air. A loud, high-pitched noise like metal scraping on stone. The figure recoiled, screeching in pain. And in that moment, something inside me snapped. I bolted forward, running as fast as I could, tearing through the woods, not looking back. I didn't stop until I reached the trailhead, gasping for air. My legs burned, and my chest ached. I was alive, but I could still hear the sound of that horrible screech echoing in the distance, fading with the wind. I don't know how I made it out, but I did. When I got back to my car, I thought I was safe. But something has followed me. Something still watches me. At night, I hear it, scratching at my window, tapping against the walls. And sometimes, when I look in the mirror, I swear I see a shadow standing just behind me. The woods didn't just let me go. Whatever was out there, it's still with me. If you're still awake after this, then you'll want to hear the rest. Click to explore more terrifying true stories and discover what truly lurks in the darkest corners of the woods. You won't want to be alone tonight.